Hey, what up? Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you are in this happy little continent of ours. Yeah, so I got a little bit I want to talk about. What's up, man? Welcome in. First of all, yesterday I did get the Pixel 6a, so I did get it replaced, and I have it here, and I'm finally able to make content on it. Because I have the worst luck ever, right? Like I get my hands on one, and it literally breaks. Oh shoot. I have it here somewhere. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the broken one. I'm probably just gonna wait until like the pricing goes down to fix it, and then probably fix the other one too, and then I'll have two. And I'll probably just give one to one of my kids. It's here somewhere. It's still cracked. I still got to fix a lot of these devices. But anyways, yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about, my first impressions with the Pixel 6a. Just kind of give you guys my thoughts on it so far. I've been using it more than the 7a just to kind of get a hand on it. And then I'm also going to talk about this iPhone access plan, just kind of like backpedal what I said in previous videos, and then just, bring up exactly what it is as I gathered more information. Still probably the best phone you can get for $100 or less if you go through Metro PCS, but if you want it unlocked, it won't unlock until 6 months. Yeah, I know. $50 for the phone plus $40 a month. Wi-Fi only device, 5 months. Actually, right now on the Google Store, the Pixel 6a is going for $250. So, and then of course they have deals going on with the Pixel 7 is $150 off, and then you could do a trade-in that gets you up to $350 off. So, I mean, that's pretty decent. Pixel 7 Pro, $649, and the Pixel 7a dropped to $400 something, $444, I think. So, yeah, celebrating their 25th anniversary, Google's 25th birthday, and they also have like some pretty cool stuff too. Like if you order any of the Pixel devices on the Google Store right now, you get an exclusive like retro shopping tote bag, but it's a very small one that basically you fit your phone into. So you get one of those. Those are limited edition. They also have a couple of wallpapers that you can download too in celebration of Google's 25th anniversary. I actually got one on my device right now. That's one of them. And this wallpaper, it's called Blueberry. There's another one that's lemon. And so I'll be putting that one on the Pixel 7a. And when I do some more in-depth video comparisons and whatever, you'll see those wallpapers on there. They're pretty cool. But you got to get them to the Google Store. They're not available in like the Google Wallpaper app. I think they should throw that in the Google Wallpaper app. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Anyways, let's kick the tires and light the fires and talk about Boost Infinite's iPhone deal. It's actually looking pretty good. I made a quick video the other day just kind of talking about, like I didn't want to deter anybody away from wanting to get the iPhone access plan on Boost Infinite, only because, it is still a pretty good deal when you kind of think about it. But more in depth, as the description of the plan that you get with getting the iPhone Unlimited access plan, how that works. So generally, there's like a lot of info being tossed around. I know that Peter Adderton spoke about it on Twitter, and he said that, you had to be on a 36-month financing plan. And that's pretty much like, if you were going to hold on to the phone or whatnot. But the Boost Infinite iPhone access plan, you get an iPhone every year. Okay, so when the next one comes out, you will get a newer iPhone that you're able to upgrade to. I think the more key thing here is the plan itself. And so the plan is it's pretty much the Unlimited Plus plan plus a new iPhone every year. So rather than it just being like the Unlimited Plus plan and an iPhone 14 on us, where you get an iPhone 14 from, on them, and you're paying $50 a month for unlimited talk, text, 30 gigabytes of priority data access, connections in the North American continent, so you get Mexico and Canada included, and international connect where you can text up to 200 plus countries, call up to 80 countries. You get all that in the plan. With the iPhone unlimited access plan, you get all that plus the iPhone 15 or 15 Plus or 15 Pro or 15 Pro Max, depending on what variant you get. And it's up to $1,000 that is covered. If you pick a device that is over $1,000, then you will pay the difference. So if it's like, $1,100 for the phone, you're going to pay $100, broken up. Basically it's a 36-month payment style, because it's like a 3-year commitment. So that $100 would be divided up in monthly payments. So that is how that works. We'll go to it here really quick, because I read that this morning. I thought, hey, finally everyone gets a bit of an idea. By the way, has anyone noticed that like Chrome has like such a different look? Trying to see where I see it at. I mean, there's get started. Obviously, they updated their website, so it's a little bit more, but it was a. Let's see if I find it. I know everyone's just talking like a whole lot about it. Plus, also at the same time too, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but the Boost Infinite app on the phone's updated, and it looks much more cleaner too as well. Okay. Let's see if this is the correct one. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so I'll share this with you guys so you guys can kind of follow along with me. So let me get this put up. This is from the website Best MVNO. All right, everything looks good. Okay, so let's take a look at it. This is from Best MVNO. Boost Infinite's new $60 a month plan will get you a new iPhone every year, and I think that's the key thing here, is a new iPhone every year. And let's see if they have the deets. So yeah, they're talking about back in June they unveiled the unlimited Plus plan with an iPhone 14 on them. The new plan offering is called the Infinite Access for iPhone plan. Unlike offering announced in June, this plan will not require a device trade-in. Well, we know that from the last time. Infinite Access for iPhone plan offer fine print. The offer is not without fine print and restrictions. Here's what you need to know. So the plan being offered isn't really different than Boost Infinite's other plans, which start at $25 a month. It includes unlimited talk, text, data, 30 gigabytes of priority data access is available, up to 5G data speeds before throttling to 512 kilobits per second. However, over the base 25 plan, which is included, is talk and text to over 200 countries, as well as Mexico and Canada roaming. 5 gigabytes of monthly high-speed data. Oh, yeah, the 5 gigabytes of data that's able to be used in Mexico or Canada. The two add-ons, standalone pricings are $10 each. So the plan does require you to pass a credit check and a 3-year device financing agreement. The $60 a month plan price includes cellular service and any iPhone 15 family model with a retail price of up to $1,000. It does not include taxes or fees, surcharges. So customers who desire the iPhone model price over $1,000 will have to pay an additional monthly fee, which is basically the difference. If you want to upgrade your device to an iPhone 16 for free in the following year, you will have to trade in your old iPhone. So pretty much what I expected. So you'd have to surrender the iPhone 15 to get the iPhone 16. That's how, and that's the reason why that they want you guys on a 3-year agreement, because if you choose not to upgrade and you want to keep the iPhone 15, you can continue to go through the basic device financing and pay it off over the contract length of 36 months, or you can just pay off the device when you're ready to. So that's why it requires device financing and the credit for that. Boost Infinite did put out a press release announcing the new plan. Interestingly, it wasn't the only thing newly announced. Boost Infinite is now marketing its network as America's Smart Network, and has a trademark. It has trademarked that phrase. Yeah, so I knew that was kind of new. Let's see. They go on to say the press release states the America's Smart Network seamlessly connects to the Boost Wireless network in select markets and one of our partner networks. The Boost Wireless network is a network being built out by Dish. Boost partner networks include T-Mobile and AT&T. So it's basically just Dish 5G, or AT&T or T-Mobile. Having a yearly iPhone upgrade plan isn't something new for a wireless carrier. Verizon, for instance, first offered such a plan in November of 2015. T-Mobile's newly launched $105 a month Go 5G Next plan includes yearly upgrades. AT&T has also offered yearly upgrades with its Next Up program. So, not bad at all, considering what you're getting. So you are getting basically. Hey, Michael, what's up? You are basically getting the iPhone 15, any version of them, as long as it's not above $1,000 in pricing. You get that. So you get the iPhone 15, whatever model. You get the unlimited talk, text, data, 30 gigs of priority data access. I can say it's not 512 kilobytes because I've been throttled on one of my Boost Infinite lines, and it's like 128. So I don't know what they're doing, but we're not getting the 512 kilobits per second when slowed down, because I can deal with 3G speeds. Like 512 kilobits per second, that's 3G speeds. That was 3G speeds back in the day. I can handle being on 3G. Not a problem. I can, being on 2G is a little finicky at times, depending on where you're at. So, yeah. But you get the base $25 plan. You get the add-on of North America Connect. You get the add-on of International Connect automatically. And then the option to surrender the device and upgrade to the newer iPhone every year for $60 a month. And the only thing you're going to be paying up front, if you choose this plan and you activate on this plan, you're going to be paying the taxes on the device up front. And the taxes is going to be different because it's based upon your area. So, your taxes could be anywhere depending on the price of the device. Like say like the phone is like $800. You could be looking at a, $60 to $70 tax that you got to pay. And that's what you're going to pay up front, plus the services to start. Well, no, post-payment. Just the taxes up front. Then you'll get billed your first bill for your services. That's at $60. So, yeah, I know he's moving to Las Vegas. I knew that before he took his trip. Like, he had announced that on Twitter like a while ago that he was moving to Vegas and that he was excited for his road trip to go out that way. So, yeah, I've been seeing him heading out that way. As long as he's safe while he's traveling, that's the most important thing, is that he gets to Vegas safely. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of clear that up because I wasn't too sure when they first mentioned the Infinite iPhone Access plan. They didn't mention the perks that kind of came with it, so it just made everyone really think that it was just $60 for a new iPhone and unlimited talk, text, and data, which didn't seem like okay. But still, I'm still reserved because I think instead of the International Connect, because that's something that people may add on when they're going outside of the country, but we don't go outside of the United States quite often. And especially with another threat of a nationwide lockdown and all this other, resurgence of, illnesses and people probably going to get sick. I don't think people are going to be traveling anytime soon. So the International Connect to me would be one that I would remove from this perk and give the Speed Pass as the perk. So getting North America Connect and Speed Pass would be cool, because then you get that additional 10 gigs of data access, and I'll give you 40 gigs instead of 30 gigs, because today people are more focused on the gigabyte usage. More and more consumers, they're not techies, they're not nerds, but they do look at how much data they're able to use, because they want to be able to kind of go on that, set it and forget it. This is like one of the things of why Mobile X is really trying to get its name out there and trying to get so many people to understand how Mobile X works, is because Some people think that they have to have fully unlimited and data, and they really don't, and can save on their bill. That's why Mobile X is there. But everybody today looks at how much data they use. So I think the Speed Pass would have been a better fit for that plan than International Connect. I'm still discovering new features on my Pixel 4a and LG V60 sometimes. I had no idea the V60 had a wireless desktop mode, for instance. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? That's pretty cool when you start discovering stuff about your device, and But I'll get into my Pixel 6a talk here in just a minute. I'm just wrapping it up with the Boost Infinite side. So do I think that this Infinite Access plan is awesome? And I'm gonna say yes, it is. To those that really, really, really like the iPhone, that really, really, really are immersed in the Apple ecosystem, like for those customers, this is a great fit because you get a new iPhone every year. All you got to do is surrender the one that you have. Now, I know they didn't mention this in any of the articles, and it's not mentioned in any of the fine print, but I'm for damn sure that this does exist. So you can actually chat with the Boost Infinite chat rep or call into them and talk to them, and they'll tell you the same thing. Yes, you do get an iPhone on them every year, surrendering the current iPhone that you have. But if you surrender a iPhone that is broken, that negates the deal. And what I mean by broken is like they expect some wear and tear. You know what I mean? So like maybe the side body of the phone maybe has like a small tiny scratch. Okay, maybe the screen has a little tiny nick on it. Okay. You may be able to pass by with that, surrendering it and getting your new iPhone next year. But if you got a cracked display, if you got a damaged camera, if you have a cracked back, if the side rail is dented extremely, keep that in mind. I know some people would be like, yo, that's stupid that you have to like mention that in your podcast. But I mean, I've dealt with people calling in that have some stupid way of thinking. And there would be people who honestly would think that just because Boost Infinite says you get an iPhone every year on them by surrendering your old iPhone on the Infinite Unlimited iPhone Access plan, they will treat their phone like crap and then be like, well, it's all good because when the iPhone 16 comes out, I'm just going to send this one back to them and get a new one. And then they're going to get pissed the hell off when they send their phone and then they get an email saying, hey, your iPhone 15 is like damaged and requires some significant repair. So, yeah. But you know what? You can also save yourself all that too because, accidents happen. You know what I mean? Things happen. Sometimes you drop your phone. Maybe the case you bought from Amazon wasn't as protective as you thought it was going to be. Things are going to happen. There's also insurance plans that Boost Infinite has, right? So, again, like I said, Boost Infinite growing into that postpaid identity that it's wanting to become to contend against AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. They do have it. They do have a Boost Infinite. I don't want to say exclusive. Well, yeah, I guess you can say it's exclusive to Boost Infinite because it's Boost Infinite and Apple together, right? It's Apple Care and Boost Infinite together, and they do sell those packages too. So you can always opt into that. Don't be a dingbat and try to opt into it when you crack your phone. Okay. You may get away with it. You may get away with it, but I wouldn't even chance it. I can't tell you how many times with different companies I've worked for, people when they get their phone, nope, I don't want insurance. I'm not paying, $9 extra a month for insurance. I'm not paying $10 or $11 extra a month for insurance. Phone cracks and they're calling in and they're like, yeah, I want to add on the insurance. This is the reason why companies started doing it. That when you buy a phone through them, you have, like 60 days to get insurance on the device or 30 days to get insurance on the device. The reason they do that is because they don't have an open enrollment where you can just enroll your device anytime you feel like it, because people were taking advantage of that. They were like, oh my God, I broke my phone. I'll just add on insurance, wait a week, and then send my phone for repairs. Let me get insurance on my Pixel 6a. Okay, we're good, we're covered. And then I'll wait a week and call back in. I'm like, oh, I cracked my phone. Take it into one of our shops and we'll replace the screen for free. And as soon as they replace the screen for free, then it's like, okay, my phone is working again. Everything looks good. All right, call in. Yeah, I want to remove the insurance because I'm paying too much. Yeah, companies don't want to deal with that. So yeah, but life happens. Get insurance on those devices. That's what I would tell anybody. Get insurance on those devices. Keep them protected, and you're golden. You crack a screen, you get it fixed. By the time September of 2024 rolls and the iPhone 16 is about to drop, then you can surrender your device in and get an iPhone 16. Now, if you like the iPhone 15, yeah, you can stay on the iPhone 15 and make payments over time, 36 payments, or you can just pay it off next year, right around that time if you want to. Up to you, because some people may not want to surrender it. Maybe some people might be like, okay, you know what, like I'm gonna go ahead and get the iPhone 16, but then you gotta think, you gotta trade in that device that you got. You can't be any device. It's not any device that you can trade in, right? So I can't just be like, okay, you know what, iPhone 16 is coming out. Let me grab my Pixel 6a and I'm gonna give that to Boost Infinite to trade in. No, it is the device that you started off with the Infinite iPhone Access Plan. That particular device, that IMEI, needs to be given back to Boost Infinite to get the next newer iPhone. That's how it works. There are rules about the conditions of phones. Pay for a device protection plan with your yeah. You can pay for it. Hell, if you want to get the plan through Asurion specifically and not through Boost Infinite, by all means, go ahead. Just remember, like I just said, the device needs to be in working and decent condition. Body cannot be full of cosmetic damages. You may not take it. And at least this time around, they're specific on it, right? Because the Unlimited Plus get an iPhone 14 on us with trade-in. They weren't specific on what the trade-in was. So I'm still looking for somebody in my group page on Facebook to tell me that they traded in a 2003 flip phone. Because they were never specific. And every time when I was working with Boost Infinite, I would ask them, or do we have like a specific year as far back as we can go to for a trade-in? And they're like, no, it doesn't say anything about that, so we can take anything. As long as it turns on, as long as it works, we can take it. And I was like, man, I can have like one of those old school Virgin Mobile, what is it? The little ghetto looking pretend Blackberries that Virgin Mobile had. It's from Kyocera. But anyways, I could have got one of those and traded it. I don't know. I think of all these things that like shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I'm not saying that those would have actually worked, but there was really no clarification, and that was kind of one of the things aggravating about working for Boost Infinite. There's never clarification on things when you need them. So especially something that would take like a 5-minute call can end up being a 20-minute call just because you're researching info because nobody has a clear answer. Anyways, I guess I can show you guys the update to the Boost Infinite app. Oh God, so much notifications coming through. Yeah, so right there, the Boost Infinite app is now that orange bubble with the Infinite logo. And the design looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, so let's see. So I can put some of my private information away. It looks a little bit cleaner. I love how when you do the my usage, like it would now tell you you can go line by line and look at each one. So let me see. The only one it cannot figure out, it's still messed up, is mine. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but you see it says 0 gigabytes. I know I've used that on this. I did a speed test the other day, and it literally showed everybody that it was like, I was getting like close to 500 megabits on the down. So it showed that AT&T did some progress here in my city. So I know that I've used over a gig of data, and yet the one line that has the early Infinite Access plan, its data cannot be calculated, but everybody else on my family plan, they can. Like I can go and switch between the lines. I can look at my daughter's line and go to, she's used about 0.2 gigabytes of data. She's mostly on Wi-Fi. Look at my other daughter's line, and she used 0.4. So neither one of them has used a gig yet, and they got 25 days left in the bill cycle. My main line, well, not my main line, but like my secondary line that I use, 0.6 gigabytes of data, 25 days left in my plan. And I only use that one to like play Pokemon Go or just as a backup phone. But my main phone line, the one that's on the early Infinite Access plan, and it still says 0 gig. It still says 0 gigs. Like I'll literally hold on, let me see if I just do it this way. It makes it easier. It's on the early infinite access plan, and yeah, no, and it still says 0 gigabytes of data used. So I think it just has to do with any of the early infinite access plans are the ones that are going to have the problem with data tracking, data calculation, and that type of stuff. Because it seems like all the other lines that I have that are on the regular infinite unlimited plan, its data can be tracked just normal now. Just updated app, like the new look. Yeah, the new look is much more cleaner. It doesn't feel so claustrophobic, if that makes any sense, right? Things feel nicely spaced out, so that way your eyes is not straining to look at everything, because it doesn't look like a cluster. At least for me, it's like that. I am slightly OCD about things. Seriously, I'm like a ticking time bomb, okay? Like, I got the worst of the worst, right? I got multiple personality disorders. I was diagnosed when I was 13 with that, still suffer from that. ADHD. I am type 2 diabetic. I'm slightly bipolar, and I'm slightly OCD. I got a lot of things wrong in this head. This is why I podcast and love doing YouTube, you know what I mean? It helps center me. It allows me to just ramble, and no one here is telling me to shut the fuck up, so I feel good. But anyways, yeah. So I'm slightly OCD about things. So like looking at the app now, it's such a fresh look, and I'm just like, I'm good with it. Like, I'm like, hey, you know what? Good on them. Just because I'm not with them anymore doesn't mean I'm not rooting for them. You know what I mean? I want them to provide good service, to push the other carriers to compete, so that way we have competition again. Maybe it's a glitch from Boostish. No, because if it was a glitch from the data breach, everybody would still be affected by it. All right. From what I know, all the other 3 lines, they're good. They're golden. Everything is migrated over. If you're thinking like they're using their previous systems, during the data breach, they're not. They're not using anything of that. They can't. It's encrypted and locked away. Whoever was able to kind of break into the system and encrypt the entire system itself, it's done with. Like, Boost Infinite is using newer stuff. I still can't say what they're using. Out of respect, I'm not gonna say what they're using, but what they're using now is much secure, much safer. Is definitely watched close. It's watched close. So yeah, they're good. They're good where they are right now. I just think it just has to do with just the early infinite access plans. Anyone that has those plans may be experiencing that issue. Anybody else? Because a lot of people have told me on the Facebook page, the group page I have on Facebook, everyone's told me they had no problems checking their data usage. They can go on there and see that, maybe sometimes it might be just a little bit behind. It might be a little bit of delayed update. Like, the person will be like, I'm pretty sure I used a gig of data, but it's still telling me I've used 0.7 gigabytes. Then like an hour later, it updates and shows that they used a gig of data. They may be running into those types of issues, but I'm running into where it shows I'm not using anything. And I have both the early infinite access plan and the legacy speed pass plan, which shows that, I get the 20 gigabytes. Let me go back into the app. Yeah, so it says manage speed pass. Let's make sure it's not going to show any private information. There we go. So what it says when I go to manage my add-ons, it shows that I have Speed Pass add-on. The Speed Pass gives you more flexibility and peace of mind regarding your data usage. Bump up your access to premium data from 30 to 50 gigabytes. Here's what you'll get: 20 gigabytes of premium data access, and your plan is $5 a month. So I have the legacy Speed Pass, so I can't ever turn off Speed Pass, because if I turn off that Speed Pass, which is why I don't like to fiddle around in the manage add-ons section, but if I turn that off, I try to turn it back on, I will be put on the newer Speed Pass, which is $10 a month and an additional 10 gigs of data, and that's what's gonna suck. After 6 months, I switched from Infinite, needed more data. When they throttle your phone, it is inoperable. It is. It's not 512 kilobits, and I've told them that so many times. Like, they pitch that, like, when we go through, like, because they do a lot of things every day, right? So, you know, one of the cool things I liked working with them was every week we had not just team meetings or one-on-one coachings to see how our progress is and if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. But we also had calibrations where like 20 of us would get off the phones for 30 minutes and we would go into like one of those video meetings, and we would listen to an agent's call, and all of us would listen to that call and give feedback on that call, right? So I mean, they do calibrations, they do what's called projects where they take feedback from agents and everything like that, and the agents get to tell them like, hey, you know, this is what I've noticed as a trend with customers. They're not liking this. So they would do these things, right? So like you don't see it, of course, because when you call into them, they're picking up the phone and they're talking to you, or they're chatting with you when you're chatting with them through the app. But they do a lot of things that's very customer focused and try to build that. It may not seem that way because maybe the things that you want and think that customers should have as value may not have been something that's been talked about or pushed yet. So you don't see it. You think they don't care, but they do. They do a lot of things to really kind of try to create the best customer experience possible. So that's one of the things that I did mention to them in one of our projects was that, you know, the website says 512 kilobits per second you're slowed down to, but I told them I could assure them it's slowed down to 128. As a matter of fact, my second line had already crossed 30 gigs and I was throttled, and I showed the speed test to show them. So yeah, now hopefully they can get that fixed because it's supposed to be 512 kilobits per second. That's 3G speed, so that's still manageable to be able to get on like Twitter and Facebook and maybe watch like YouTube in like 360p or 480p at best. But yeah, you're not going to game on 3G. That'll probably be the one thing that takes a hit. But yeah, I get what you're saying. They aren't allowed to give more data if you go over. Only if you get the speed pass. If you get the speed pass, that gives you an additional 10 gigs to kind of clarify that. So if you get the regular infinite unlimited plan, it's 30 gigs of priority data access, and then you're slow for the rest of your bill cycle. If you get the speed pass, that gives you an additional 10. So that is 40 gigs of priority data access before your slowdown. Now I can tell you guys this, and everyone uses their phones differently, so I'm not going to judge anybody because I know Titus here is like, I don't ever go over 30 gigs. And you know, I can say the same myself. I don't ever go over 30 gigs. Like, I'm connected to my home Wi-Fi when I am at home. And, you know, the jobs that I do, most of them are remote, so I'm always at home. So I'm always connected to my home Wi-Fi. When I go out and about, I'm not doing a lot of things. Like, I don't watch YouTube. If I go with my wife to go grocery shopping, I'm not watching YouTube videos. I think the most thing that I do with any type of like video interaction is like live streaming on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. I read that T-Mobile is going to lease 600. What do you mean 600? Are you talking about the 600 megahertz spectrum, or are you talking about the 800 megahertz spectrum? Because Dish was supposed to buy the 800 megahertz spectrum, and they're in a crossroads with T-Mobile because they want, like, T-Mobile is pushing the FCC to grant them the permission to sell that to somebody else. Dish wants it. I don't know why they can't afford it, but they're wanting the FCC to put a block on T-Mobile selling it and holding it so they can actually get the money together to purchase it. That's a whole totally different topic I'll probably get into sometime next week. But it is the 800 megahertz spectrum they're trying to get. Dish is trying to buy that. They don't want to lease it. They want to buy the spectrum off of them and use it. Any good tablet data plan? Only for unlimited? The only one I've ever come across that has given the best unlimited data, and I mean like unlimited data, it has been Metro by T-Mobile. But you have to have a Metro by T-Mobile phone line in order to get the tablet plan. And yeah, you get the tablet plan. I think it's like $15 a month was what I was paying. So I paid I was paying 65 for my line because I had a family plan. So I had 65 for my line, and then I had 4 additional lines, and then I had a $15 tablet plan, and then the home internet device. The total I was paying a month was $165 a month for everything. Dish wants to wait for the EchoStart deal to go through. I think the EchoStar deal is pretty much going through. It's like when I hear the EchoStar deal with Dish, the song "Return to Innocence" just plays in my head because people are not familiar with EchoStar. EchoStar and Dish were together at once, and because of I think it was because of a monopoly type reasoning, they were divided and they were split into 2 companies, and now they're coming back together. I heard T-Mobile was going to lease 600 megahertz spectrum from Comcast. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the 800 megahertz spectrum deal, because that is actually going on right now between Dish and T-Mobile. Dish was supposed to purchase the 800 megahertz spectrum from T-Mobile, but T-Mobile, because Dish is not upfront with their money right now, T-Mobile wants to sell it to somebody else that wants it, and Dish is trying to block that sale. Be like, no, it was supposed to come to us. We're gonna pay for it. We're gonna buy it. It's like, maybe like you've been saving up money for that new phone you wanted, and you're only like $5 off. So you're like trying to tell the store, like, don't sell that phone. I'm gonna buy it. I just need $5 more. Just give me a little bit more time to raise $5. I'll come back and buy it. It's that type of scenario. Yeah, that's how these companies work in selling a spectrum. Yeah, the same thing with Dish and T-Mobile on their 800 megahertz spectrum. So, thanks. We'll try out the company. I have an unlocked LTE from Lenovo. Okay, cool. The only caveat to that is that you have to have a Metro phone line with them. So maybe you can do maybe if you can. If you read up, I don't know if the promo is still happening, but if you can get the $25 plan from Metro, if you can get that $25 plan, then you can add on a tablet, get a tablet activated too as well. So not bad at all. I think it would be like, what, $40 a month? All right, switching tracks. What do I think of the Pixel 6a? This thing is very similar to this thing, obviously. But the one thing I did notice, though, just taking out the box, using it, playing around with it, taking it everywhere with me yesterday and this morning, it's a lot lighter than my Pixel 7a. So that's the first thing I noticed, is that the weight of it is a lot lighter. And I think that would probably why the 7a would be a little bit heavier. I would think in that to do with the wireless charging coil that's in the Pixel 7a to wirelessly charge the device. That's not present in the Pixel 6a. There's no wireless charging here. Now, I do want to make something very, very clear about the display, which is the second thing that I immediately focused on when using the Pixel 6a when I took it out the box yesterday. Because, you see a lot of content creators talk about the Pixel 6a and other devices too, right? They all talk about these devices. That's what they do. They want to get them, review them for everyone else to know. And one of the biggest complaints when the 6a came out was that it didn't have 90 hertz refresh rate. It didn't have 120 hertz refresh rate. It only had a 60 hertz refresh rate. And everyone hung on Marques Brownlee's, words, saying that it was like, very glitchy, very trashy, whatever. And I'm looking at it and it's very smooth. And of course, I'm thinking that, my time of looking at the display and his time looking at the display when he said what he said, obviously it was when, it wasn't an older version of Android, not very old, but there has been some security patches and software patches since that has been released. And so, one thing I will say is this, though, with the display itself being only 60 hertz, one, I'm not going to modify this and try to force the 90 hertz refresh. I know some people were like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And they did what they did to, because the screen can support 90 hertz. See, here's the thing. Just because something can support something doesn't mean that it should have it automatically. It's not going to have it automatically for various reasons why. no 90 hertz refresh on the Pixel 6a or 120. Not a deal breaker for me. I don't care. Like, it's nice to look at a display when you have the settings on 90 hertz refresh. You'll see a little bit of a difference. 120 hertz refresh, you'll see a major difference. And you can see the differences in the refresh rate, and it seems nice and it seems so smooth, and it's just like, wow, the fluidity of movement is like, 20 of the angels descending from heaven's lights, blowing their trumpets in harmony. It may feel that way to you, but it's not a necessity to have to use a smartphone. It's just not. And I could care less about the 90 hertz refresh, 120 hertz refresh. The phone screen on the Pixel 6a is smooth to my eyes, and my eyes are picky. That's the reason why that I can confidently say, in my own opinion, that the screen is good. I'm a picky son of a gun. I can see pixels. If a display panel shows pixels, I can fucking see it. It irritates the hell out of me. Of course, display panels have gotten better over years, right? Back in like 2013, 2014, 2015, yeah, I used to be that sucker. I was like, oh my God, I can see the little pixelation lines, this and that. Of course, they smoothed them out, right? So when I'm telling you that the display is smooth, in my opinion, trust me when I say this, smooth, okay? It's not 120 hertz smooth. It's not 90 hertz smooth. It's 60 hertz smooth, and we've been using 60 hertz for years, and no one has had ever a problem to it. See, here's the thing that I've noticed when it comes to smartphones. Anytime that phones start adding new features in, everybody expects them to come in. Nothing has changed from the launch of smartphones in the mid-2000s. Nothing has changed. If this phone gets this new feature and everyone's like, oh, I got this new feature, everybody feels like, oh, I gotta have that feature too. This is the reason why that my channel did so good in the very beginnings of it, when I was showing people how to take a mid-range device and tweak it to get the same experiences that flagships were getting at that time, because people want what certain phones have. This phone comes with this feature, every phone's got to have it. Oh no, my phone doesn't have that? Oh, well, we'll find a way to get it. Listen, 90 hertz refresh ain't gonna do anything but, make your video play look smooth, make your interactions with the user interface smooth. 120 hertz will make it like dynamically smooth, and that is a nice feeling to have. It looks, 120 hertz, hey, who's gonna argue with that, right? But you can still access Facebook without it. You can still access Twitter without it. You can access YouTube without it. You can access all your games without it. And sure, maybe your Call of Duty game or your Fortnite game on your mobile device is not going to have that smooth animations or whatever, but you're still going to be able to play. You'll get your kill shots. You'll be able to play. It's not going to render or hinder your fucking game experience to be that horrible. But I think people just love to overly exaggerate things. This is why I posted what I posted. I think I posted it on Twitter, and I said, in the generation of today, the most common thing to do on social media is bitch. I'm going to bitch about everything. Complain, because that's really what it is. There is nothing wrong with the Pixel 6a so far, and that's just looking at the display. Yesterday, I recorded a video. I'm gonna upload that. I think I'm just gonna upload the raw video and not edit it. But I recorded a video as I was driving to go pick up my wife from work to see if it was going to overheat and get really hot and shut down the camera functions. Reason why I do that here, especially I'm able to do that here in my city, is because I live in one of the hottest fucking cities in the United States of America. Okay, Phoenix, Arizona is no joke when it comes to the dry heat out here. Yes, we don't have the humidity like Florida does, and thank God we don't, because if we had the humidity of Florida, it would be a ticking time bomb before everyone dropped dead from heat exhaustion and heat stroke. But yes, you can catch heat stroke out here just walking down the street. Normalcies you will see here in my city, if you ever come to visit during the summertime, is that you will see people with a gallon of water in their hand. Doesn't matter. They're walking by foot, commuting to a place. You're gonna see them with a gallon of water. Gas stations like Quick Trip and Circle K make a ton of money on selling ice cold gallon water in their stores, because people go in there and buy them instead of buying the 16-ounce bottle or the 8-ounce bottle or the 24-ounce bottle of water. People go for the gallon of water. You need that to make it out here if you're gonna be walking on foot. Okay, SPF 5,000, whatever the hell it is, sunblock. You need that out here, right? So I live in a very hot state. Okay, I think I made my point. And so inside of a vehicle, right? If my car is sitting out in the sun and I start my car to go pick up my wife, it's like seven in the evening time, and inside my car, the thermometer gauge is reading that inside my car is 108 degrees because of all the trapped heat. Because sometimes I forget to crack my window to let some of that heat back out, which I should be doing because the heat is strong enough that it can blow out one of your windows. But anyways, and I put the Pixel 6a on the car mount and start driving and recording a video, 1080p but 60 frames per second. It should have overheated in 5 minutes. I recorded for I think a good solid 11 minutes, and I was driving from here to where my wife works. And yeah, it did not. It did not give me a sign of your phone's too hot, that things are being disengaged, none of that stuff. It handled the video recording all the way through. So the reason I'm saying this is because I know that CV Tech dropped a video talking about how the Pixel 6a didn't overheat on him while he was recording video. And I'm backing him up on that. The 6a did not overheat. The only time the phone really got warm was during setup. When I had connected my Pixel 7a to the 6a and pushed a lot of the apps and stuff onto this device upon setting up was the only time that it's been warm. Since then, it hasn't gotten warm at all. So it's been more on the cool side. Of course, this is the Glastic. You know, it feels like glass, but it's plastic. Yeah. No wireless charging. I don't care. I have a bunch of chargers on my desk. I tend to use the chargers on my desk more than wireless charging. It does have, I believe, IP67 water dust resistance. Cool. Means I can vlog in a shower if I feel like it. But if I do that, have me committed for being insane, because I will never vlog myself in the shower. And the only thing that's missing here is the headphone jack. There's no headphone jack, for those who want to know. No headphone jack. Okay, the 5A was the last one with the headphone jack. It's also the last one with a Qualcomm chip, because the Pixel 6a has the Tensor G1. Now, the only major problem that I have with the Pixel 6a, and it's not even really that much of a problem because, you know, I'm not going to sit in the corner sucking my thumb crying, is that, of course, you know, the Tensor G1 chip, nothing wrong with that chip. I don't care what anyone says. People can talk about, oh, it doesn't process things this much faster. Fuck it, I don't care. When I tap on Facebook, it fucking opens. Okay, I'll tell you the chip sucks if I tap on Facebook and I gotta go cook breakfast before the fucking thing opens up. Yeah, then there's a problem with the chip. Okay, but if you just tap on it and it opens, right? We're not sitting here judging exactly how many like fucking ultra microseconds does it take to open the fucking app. The app opens, I don't care, right? It processes videos. I watch my YouTube. I click on the video to watch. It starts playing it. I'm watching it. Okay. But the only problem that I have is with the modem. The Exynos 5130 modem. Not that it's slow. It just seems that it doesn't hold the signal good. There's times where, you know, it just signal's lost. But for the first time ever on Boost Infinite, I got no service in an area that I know that is weak, because my Pixel 7a will still be connected, but it'll have one bar. Because we're kind of in a dead zone. The 6a, boom, no connection. It was literally, I had to airplane the mode for 10 seconds, and then it would establish a connection. So that would be the Exynos 5130 modem, which going in the future with the Pixel 8 series, well, not the 8 series, but like beyond the 8 series. So like, you know, maybe the 8A and the 9 series are no longer going to be using any Exynos made products. So they're going to go in a different routes. Okay. I forgot what the name of the company is that they're going to start going to for these chips, but they're going to a different company to help manufacture their chips. So it's not going to be Exynos. And as a matter of fact, Samsung is going back to the drawing board with Exynos, because that's the one thing that, you know, they have their own chip, and they've been able to say that for so long, right? And it's just so funny that, you know, when Google decides to start releasing the Tensor chip and say, you know, we're having our own in-house chip, and Apple has their in-house chip. Samsung already had an in-house chip, the Exynos, but not a lot of people liked it. It, you know, didn't perform all that well. And you know, so rumor has it that Samsung's already going back to the drawing board for Exynos, because they're going to try and redevelop Exynos from the ground up in order to be able to use their own in-house chips. And that's what I mean by like the Tensor G1 is a solid chip, is because, you know, I can use the Pixel 6a alongside the Galaxy A53. The Galaxy A53 has an Exynos. I forgot which chip it is. I'll look it up another time. But yeah, it's got an Exynos chip in there, mid-range device, both of them, and I could use them side by side. And the Galaxy A53 will show some jank and stutter and lag, whereas on the 6A it's always smooth. So that goes to tell you. I was about to buy a new Pixel 6a from Xfinity Mobile until I noticed the deal breaker for me: no SD card slot. A lot of devices don't have SD card slots. A lot of them don't. They're getting away from micro SD cards and everything's going to cloud. It's been that way for a while now. As a matter of fact, there's never been a Google Pixel device that has an SD card slot. You go all the way as far back as to the very first Pixel 1 and 1 XL. Those didn't have SD card. They never did. So no Pixel has SD card at all whatsoever. I'll put mine to the test. What do you do on Instagram on yours, Coffee? Oh, look at that. First thing that pops up on my Instagram, Boost Infinite. Introducing Infinite Access for iPhone. I love my Google Pixel 4a 5G. Yeah. Yeah, the 4a 5G is very solid. Would have been funny as hell, because think about it like this, right? If the pandemic never happened and all these other stuff didn't get in the way, the Tensor G1 would have been in the, for sure it would have been in the 5, but I'm pretty sure they would have probably put it in the Pixel 5. They would have probably put it in the 4a 5G. Crazy, but that never happened. Depends on the temperature as well, though. It's like 36 to 39 degrees Celsius. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. I mean, in here in my room right now, it's not too bad. God, I see so much of these Instagram reels with Skeletor, and he's always like, remember. Wait, let's see what he says here. Hold on.
Remember, mummies weren't that rare until the Victorian British ate so many of them.
Oh my God.
Until we meet again.
Oh my God. Whoever does those Skeletor friggin' reels, oh my God. He always just has some interesting facts. Yeah, I'm currently working on giving a video talking about the battery life. It's gonna take me a couple of days to do that, because I know that the battery in the Pixel 6a is still learning my habits. So once, I would say, like after a good 2 days, so maybe like starting tomorrow, I'll start tracking the battery performance on this going forward, on how I use my phone every day, and then I can give you guys a video talking about the battery on the Pixel 6a. Of course, all the videos are going on the dedicated Pixel channel, so if you're not subscribed to that channel, please do. It is in the description right now. You'll see the description to 2 of my other channels, my Pokemon Go gaming channel and my dedicated Pixel channel. All the videos for the 6a will be posted there. Shout out again to everyone that's discovering the channel. We're sitting at 150 subscribers, so that's nice. I'm quite happy, and it's consistently growing. But the overall thing that I'm noticing about that channel is that there's a lot more views on it to the videos itself. Some of them have been breaking 1,000 views, so I really appreciate that. And I just let it do its thing. I'm not adding anything else in there. Nothing else is gonna get added on in there. Just Google Pixel stuff. And if you guys didn't know, the other reason I made that channel too was to kind of test that if you stick to the same subject all the time, does the algorithm pick up your channel and help push it? Versus this channel, which is varieties, and I talk about anything here, from phones to carriers to just whatever I'm feeling on my mind. And I'm doing my own little experiment with YouTube. Have you seen the video of that cat being held down on a table by 3 dudes? No, I haven't seen anything like that. Like, no. What happened to the cat? Or is it graphic that you can't mention it? Yeah, I got too many animal lovers in my home. So like any videos that shows any type of animal cruelty, I don't watch and I don't share, because Like, what was it? Was it what we were watching yesterday? Frick, I forgot. We were watching a scare. I was watching that movie, Drag Me to Hell. Funny movie, right? Hilarious movie, in my opinion. It is kind of spooky a little bit, but it's also kind of scary. Kind of funny. And there's a scene where the woman sacrifices her cat because the guy that she goes to visit, who's like, he's a vision seer. He sees that she has a bad mark on her, and then he tells her, like, sometimes the demons will quit pursuing you if you give them like some sort of blood sacrifice. And so, like, she has like a little kitten that was given to her as a gift, and my daughter could not watch the movie because she didn't want to see the cat get hurt. And just thinking about it, my daughter started to cry a little bit. So I was like, no, we don't have to watch this movie, and I turned it off. Yeah, so too many. Yeah. Oh, doing a voiceover the cat. No, if it's comedy, then yeah. As long as the cat doesn't get hurt. You can post a link to me on Google Chat, man. I'll check it out later. Yeah. So, anyways, before I wrap this up, I'll only go for about an hour. I don't try to keep you guys up too long. I'll hold you guys up. So far, even though we're in 2023, about to be in 2024, the Pixel 6a is still a beast. I can see why a lot of people that had the phone enjoyed it. Sure, there's going to be some bad batches out there. There's going to be some that use their phones a certain way that causes it to overheat. And hey, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, so far from what I noticed, is actually pretty good. I am going to one day take a trip out to one of my favorite parks to do some photography tests, which is called Encanto Park. You guys can Google search it to see what the park looks like. And I'm actually going to take both the 7A and the 6A out there and do a photo comparison. I might as well just take the Galaxy A53 and throw it as a 3-way dogfight. Not a real one for YouTube, so they don't get anal about it. I gotta choose my words wisely. I'll just take all 3 phones out there and compare them. The Galaxy A53's cameras to the Pixel 6a camera to the Pixel 7a camera, and do like a photo shootout. Oh yeah, not a problem. You know me. And like I said, subscribe to the Pixel channel for all things Google Pixel related. You guys will get those videos. I try to keep that channel very, at least, an upload every other day. So there is a movie that shows the cat getting hurt, but coming back to life. You talking about Pet Sematary? Because I seen an ad that they made another Pet Sematary movie, and I'm like dreading it because if it sucks, or if they change the entire plot of Pet Sematary, I'm gonna flip my top. Because I like the first Pet Sematary was pretty decent. I liked it. Things got a little strange with Pet Sematary 2. I mean, I love the fact that you had the stepdad reanimated, the dog Zowie was reanimated and all creepy looking. The son is like twisted. He wants to bring his mom back to life, but realizes that it's not his mom, because it's not really his mom. It's any dead body planted in the actual Pet Sematary is reanimated with an evil spirit, and the evil spirit knows much about the person's life because obviously it probably comes from hell or wherever, and they can see. They can see everything. They know everything about everybody. So it wouldn't be hard for them to fabricate being you for a little bit of time before wanting to take you and kill you, take your body to the cemetery, bury it, and then revive it with another spirit, right? Originally, like, I'm looking forward to seeing Pet Sematary 1 or 2 pop up on these streaming services. I like watching a lot of like spooky stuff. You guys know Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year. So yeah, when that starts coming around, I'm already starting to watch horror movies left and right. Disney Hocus Pocus Part 1, The Black Cat. Oh, you meant that one. Now you're talking about Pet Sematary. When you say Black Cat, I think of Pet Sematary. Yeah. Well, right now, they have both Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney Plus. I know that my kids wanted to watch them back to back, so we're probably going to do that tomorrow night. But there's also some other movies I wanted to watch too. I'm more of a werewolf type of person. I like werewolf movies. I love seeing like what productions can do with CGI and stuff like that. And I honestly, there's only a very small few movies that do werewolf transformations really good. And till today, the top one to beat, and some may disagree with me, but the top one to beat is the werewolf transformation in American Werewolf in London. Because they really didn't have a lot of the technology that we have today for cinema. So the way that they did the transformation and just how well they edited the movie, it came out pretty dang decent. You can tell that they had done like they had filmed like this segment of the transformation, stopped, reset the set while the actor went and costume designer started retrofitting things onto him to make the change, and then shoot the next segment and put all those segments together to show this kind of transformation from human to werewolf. And I think the werewolf concept they had in American Werewolf in London just seemed to fit a little bit more. The werewolf in that movie mostly walked on all fours. It barely stood up on its hind legs in human form, which anyone that follows werewolf lore knows that the more closer a human is to its wolf transformation, the stronger it is, right? So what they call like the half wolf, half man transformation, where it stands on two legs, but head of a wolf, body covered in fur, it's not at its strongest when it's in that form. It's actually when it's down on all fours, nearly close to a wolf, but like 4 times a regular wolf size, because it's a human werewolf is when it's its strongest. And I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever played those types of games like Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse. Those are role-playing games. I played them. I admit it. I played them when I was a teenager. We played Werewolf the Apocalypse. I even remember a friend of mine was able to hack in on the online server to play Werewolf the Apocalypse online on a computer. And so like when I speak about werewolves and stuff like that, talking about some of their gifted talents of what they have, besides of their brute strength and everything like that, they also do have psychic abilities. And in the game itself, I mean, like my werewolf was pretty cool. My werewolf wasn't one of the good ones. It wasn't one that was created to protect Earth. It was actually corrupted by the worm. And so my werewolf was part of the tribe, the Black Spiral Dancers. And I haven't played that game in so long. Like I don't even know if I have the notebook with all my attributes and everything written down. So, but yeah, I played that. That's where I get my ideas from, like werewolves and stuff like that. Anyways, yeah. So if anyone knows any good werewolf movies, please recommend it to me on Twitter. Like hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on a DM. And you can tell me like, hey, check out this movie and I'll check it out. I love werewolf movies. I love slasher films, mostly leaning towards Michael Myers in the Halloween series. Jason's, my second place slasher. Freddy Krueger's, I don't really consider him horror. He's always funny. I've always laughed at his movies, because he just comes up with some of the craziest shit. So I can't really say it's horror, but it is classified as a horror movie. So he ranks third in slasher films. And Leatherface, fourth place for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. The Conjuring movies are not bad at all whatsoever. Of course, you got to watch them in their chronological order. So you got to watch it like from The Nun. Hold on. I think I have the list here because like my daughter wanted to tell her friends like how to watch like the Conjuring universe movies and what order to watch them in. So I gave her a little list on how her friends should watch it. So if you're gonna watch the Conjuring universe in correct timeline order, you'll watch The Nun, then Annabelle Creations, The Nun 2, Annabelle, The Conjuring, Annabelle Comes Home, Curse of La Llorona, The Conjuring 2, and The Conjuring 3. That is the order that you would watch the movies in. And then things would start to make sense and start to kind of fit. Jeepers Creepers is like, I really can't put them as my all-time favorite because they're not continuing on the story, which really upsets me. Like I don't care about Victor Salva and what he did, right? He got what he deserved. He went to jail. He has a bad rap for the rest of his life. Screw that guy. But I know Technoid was very adamant about this, and I agree with Technoid. Don't chastise the movie. Don't blame the movie for that man's stupidity, right? Like the whole, the whole Jeepers Creepers saga. I mean, yeah, I know they got the idea of the opening of the movie, the first one, from Unsolved Mysteries, But you know, everything about that, like, it still has people wanting to know what the creeper is, right? And in Jeepers Creepers 3, which is actually Jeepers Creepers, 1.5, because it takes place in between part 1 and part 2, we start to see that, like, certain people figure out what the creeper is. But we don't get told what the creeper is. We still want to know what the hell it is. We know it's not the human body parts. It's some sort of puppet master type thing, because it takes human parts to replace its parts, to masquerade itself as a human, to freak people out, to smell their fear, to know what it wants to eat from them, to take them, eat the part that it needs, and then he creates this plaster on his wall, this quilt of human bodies, his house of pain, right? And then, they made the Jeepers Creepers Reborn absolutely sucked. It was stupid. I didn't like it. I thought it was trash. I thought the new makeup mask for the creeper was retarded. It was just it was hot garbage. Like, why the hell did they bring us Jeepers Creepers Reborn? Yeah, it was just dumb as hell. For you, some good werewolf movies were made starring Michael. Oh, you into Teen Wolf? The Teen Wolf movies, I've seen those. Now I want a good, like, when I was a kid, I used to be scared of The Howling. My mom loved watching The Howling. And throughout my years, I've been watching all the Howling movies over and over again and wondering, why the hell was I even scared in the first place? Some of the werewolf design costumes and everything were just trash. There was another movie that I watched that's on Tubi TV. I forgot the name of the movie. I thought it was okay, but the werewolf costumes look like angry beavers than werewolves. But it's about this guy, ex-military guy, his son and the daughter-in-law. They put him in an elderly community. He moves. I forgot the name of the town, but he moves there. He immediately smells something's weird about it. He's blind. He has a German Shepherd named Shadow. And his very first night there, because when he moved in, he met his next door neighbor, Dolores, and he was very nice to her, but he has kind of a chip on his shoulder towards people that are stupid. But anyways, very first night that he was there, his next door neighbor, Dolores, gets attacked by a werewolf. And he starts beating on the wall because he wants to know if she's okay. The werewolf hears him doing that, so the werewolf runs and just kind of like hits the wall, knocking him flat on his ass. And then the werewolf goes back outside of his neighbor's house, who it had already killed, and walks around the backyard to his and breaks into his house, where his dog Shadow goes one-on-one with the werewolf and attacks it while he's trying to find his gun. By the time that he finds his handgun, the werewolf is already making an exit out of the house, as it already dealt a fatal blow to his German Shepherd. So he has to bury his dog. His dog died. Townfolk find him to be rude and everything. He walks around using a shovel as a cane or as a walking stick. And he finds out that the town people all go to the church. So he figures that, he's going to find out who this werewolf is if he goes to that church, because whoever is attacking people as a werewolf has to live in that township. It's a gated community. And so he goes there and he starts realizing that one of the preacher's helpers smells a certain way, like smoke all the time. He keeps making reference to that smoke. The preacher thinks he's talking about cigarettes, but it's not that, because at the end of the movie, the guy who is the actual werewolf would smell like smoke because he has a smoker in his backyard, and what he's doing every day is, animals that he killed, like, dogs, like pet dogs and cats. He was throwing it into that smoker and burning it. He was burning his ripped clothes that's stained with blood. He was burning a lot of evidence that would say that he is the werewolf. So he's always smelling like a smoker, like, someone that like smokes chicken or ribs or anything like that. And it was pretty decent movie. It's a B-side type movie is what I would call it. So it didn't have like the greatest effects, but the werewolves look like angry beavers, and it was just like, if your werewolf looks like anything than a wolf, and it's just like, no, it doesn't get me. Right? Like, I watched The Howling 6 Freaks, which I thought was a pretty good movie, only because the plot basically pit a werewolf against a vampire. But the werewolf character didn't really pass me as a werewolf. He kind of was like, he was hunchbacked a little bit. His hair grew out long. He got like a nice little beard going on, yellow eyes, and some nice, fangs, like canine teeth. That was it, right? Like he didn't get the full transformation, wolf snout, those penetrating glare eyes that would freak the hell out of anybody. For your kids, any books, shows, movies written by, no, they have them all. They have all of them. Yeah, you're talking about like the Goosebumps books and everything. They have them. They're on top of it. They love to read, so they actually got their own sets of books in their room when it comes to that. And it just seems to be like the Goosebumps books. Their favorite ones from Goosebumps is the ones that you have to do like the chapter jumping. So you read the intro, it tells you, and then like when you read the intro chapter, and then it's like, to find out where Sally goes, go to page 76. To find out where Trevor goes, go to page 50. And you basically control the story by going to where it tells you to go at the end of each chapter, and then you get a different ending at the end of the book. So they love those. They love those. All right. Anyways, I went a little bit longer, but yeah, do leave your opinions, facts. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay crew, hashtag Boost Infinite iPhone, hashtag Pixel 6a. If you guys watch the replay, keep your suggestions coming though. If you guys think of anything else later on, just hit me up on Twitter or Threads. If you're on Threads, hit me up on there. Yeah. That is it. And I'll talk to you on the next one. Appreciate y'all for coming through.